Well, good morning, everybody. This is dear Mama Sal on a cool autumn morning. It's 9 degrees here in Canada and southern British Columbia, which would equate to 48 degrees. It's getting down there. I'll have to actually think about pulling out the coat soon. But as you can tell, I fight this tooth and nail every year. I work on the principle that I get straight into my car, and the car in a minute will be fairly warm, and then after that I drive to work, and then I have about 30 paces between my car and the front door at work. So I really do, and it's interesting because I'm not the only one at work that does that. There have been a couple of days when I've noticed people doing the same thing, where I look at them and I go, maybe a coat would have been a good idea today, and they'd also laugh. Because they refuse to accept winter until we absolutely have to. And I guess if you're not a winter person, it makes a lot of sense. And I know Carly would agree with me. Because she's definitely not a winter person either. So, you know, we look at it and we go, we can do this. We can fight it all the way. And the word for today would be, fight. Boom, boom. And the reason I was thinking about that is because there's no doubt in my mind that the next couple of years in US politics is going to be quite a fight. Or maybe it will be less of a fight. I don't know. And so if you are Republican leaning in any way, congratulations on what you did. And in taking control of the Senate and the House. I think you did both. Anyway, so the interesting thing, if I understood it correctly, is a lot of the issues on which everybody got in were the initiatives that Obama had been trying to get in, which is interesting. And part of me goes, who cares who got it in, as long as we got it in. Increased wages and, things that look after the day-to-day living standard of a lot of people. However, having said that, how do we pay for it all? And that's a fight. It always makes me laugh when people say to me, yeah, but the government should pay for this, that, and the other, and I'm going, who pays the government? What? Who pays the government? Yeah, the government doesn't grow money on trees, so who puts money into the government? Well, they do. Who's they? And then I look at them and I go, I do. I pay for you to have this, and this. not the government. I do, through my taxes. And so I think it is really quite interesting when we realize that our ability to fight is really important. And we fight with our votes 9 times out of 10. Now, what I found interesting on the news this morning, which I certainly hadn't realized until this morning, was that Chris Christie was ahead of all the governor races, and there were a lot of Republican governors that were put in, which puts up Chris Christie's rating within the party. Interesting stuff. So anyway, as you know, I get very interested in these things. So we're in for a fight one way or another. And what we're about to, we in Canada, or we in BC anyway, are about to vote as well. We do it next week, I think. No, the week after next. Where we will be voting for our local governments. And it will be interesting to see what happens here. The sad thing for the town in which I live, or the city in which I live, is a very, very big city, which takes which takes a huge amount of space. I don't know how many square acres the city is, but it's massive. I mean, so much so that when you say, I always say I live in South Surrey because I'm half an hour away from Middle Surrey. And literally. and that's another, 15-20 minutes away from North Surrey. It's a big state, or province, not a province, it's a big area. So, and not a state. So but the thing is that we've had a mayor in place for some years now, and she has been phenomenal. She has really built up the whole feeling of this particular city. When she took over, we were fast becoming, well, we were a joke, right? To be literally, people would say, you live in Surrey, that sort of thing. And so she really worked very hard to bring some pride, I think, in many areas. So, and she's about to leave local government, and we're pretty sure, because she's going to go in for federal government. But so we've got to try and replace her, which will be very, very difficult. Very difficult indeed. And so it's for the area in which I live, it's going to be a very important vote in a couple of weeks. And I'm sure that I will take you along with me, as I did last time. The first time I ever voted in my life. And for those of you who don't know, the reason it was the first time I'd ever voted in my life is because I left England just before a general election, so I couldn't vote. I then went to Africa and was a permanent resident there, and never did become a citizen, so I never could vote. And then I came to Canada and was a permanent resident here, or a landed immigrant here, and for 25 years never voted. And then a couple of years ago I became a Canadian, as many of you will remember. And it was very exciting and very meaningful to me. And sorry, they've decided to mess with the road here suddenly. Just trying to work out what the heck they're doing. And so for the first time in my life, I got to vote. And I cannot tell you what that felt like. It was really weird. I had no idea what to do. You know what I mean? I mean, people had sort of given me the rough idea what to do, but it's like everybody presumes because of my age that I know exactly what to do. Well, I didn't. I'd never voted before. So this will be my second time to vote. Very exciting. I'd like to apologize. I'd like to apologize for the Zoom yesterday. That was so funny. It wasn't until I went to work with the vlog that I realized what had happened. And I thought, you know, enough of you listen to the vlogs rather than watch them, that it doesn't matter. Or I'm pretty certain that you would rather I put something up rather than nothing. And that's why I did it the way I did. I've got a real slow coach ahead of me this morning. Seriously. I mean, forgive me, but they're not even doing the speed limit, which is not my usual speed. Let's put it that way. So in terms of the fight, I wonder what it is that you're prepared to fight for. And I say that figuratively rather than literally. One of the things, I go back to this whole Dear Mama Sal thing, because a lot of people obviously do not understand what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. And I occasionally have to smile sweetly and walk away because I realize they will never understand why we do what we do here. And I fight to stay away some nights just to get the vlog up. As you all know, that's quite a process to get it up each night. Because I know it makes a difference to certain people. And I wanted to give a shout out to Sherry this morning and give you a big hug, sweetie. I know that it's tough at the moment. And I know that you really find the vlogs uplifting, and that's so awesome. And I want to tell you that it's for people such as yourself that I fight through whatever tiredness or whatever else it is that I'm feeling, because I know how important it is for you. And last night I was very tired again. I could happily have just turned over and gone to sleep and thought, excuse my language, I just sort it, I'll do it tomorrow. And then I thought, no, there are people, and I know at least one that waits for this video every day. And so, and then there are others that apparently listen to them in the morning before they go to work. And so I fight for the ability to be able to get that video up. And the reason that it's not about bully for me, it's my passion, right? It is what I love to do. Whether it's right or wrong or indifferent, who cares? For me, if it makes a difference in somebody's life, then it's worth doing. And therefore, it makes a difference in my life, because it gives my life meaning. And I will always fight for that right to be able to make a difference. And it was interesting, as somebody wrote to me recently and said they had a lot of trouble, you know, watching the vlogs because of the movement of the camera. Well, until British Columbia makes perfectly flat roads, I will not be able to have a perfectly still camera. because my car will never be, well, actually, that's not true. I can have a perfectly still camera, but not if I'm doing the vlogs as I drive. And so I realized that I could stop that just by only doing the vlogs when I get home. But I also know that that means you would get half as many vlogs, because I doubt I would be able to sit down every evening and feel energized enough even to be able to do a vlog when I got home at night. So that's an interesting point, isn't it? And that's why it's important to realize that what people tell you is an opinion. It is in their opinion it's difficult, which is their right, which is fine. It doesn't make it the right. It means, okay, I understand that you can't watch the videos because of the movement. And then I wrote back and said, I think that's a reason why a lot of people listen to them rather than watch them. I'm pretty sure. And the people who listen to them want to listen to them because obviously they have value at some level. They find value in them. So if you say, okay, fine, I don't want to watch them because they move too much. Oops. That turned quite quickly. Because they move too much. And you don't want to listen, then obviously the content isn't what you want to listen to. And that's also okay. That's what I love about doing this. It's different strokes for different folks. And I want to go back to those of you who fight every day. Some of you fight your fear every day. Some of you are fighting illness every day. Some of you fight your mind every day. And I think, without a doubt, if there was one word that would describe the Dear Mama Sal peeps, it would be fighters. They're fighters. They're people who fight to get better. They're people who fight to make a bad day a good day. And for that alone, I am so proud of the viewers. It is amazing how many of you are in really difficult circumstances. I think about Chloe. Hi, Chloe. Sitting in England with her hypermobility. And then now she's got other issues in her body that make life even more difficult. And I think about her wonderful attitude. I mean, I cannot believe that I would have the courage and the character to have her wonderful attitude. And you know, it was really cute because when Chloe wrote to me about a month ago to tell me the diagnosis was not good on her digestive tract, she was so honest to me and with me that I cried, because I don't know why, I get a feeling that Chloe probably doesn't get that real to many people. And she's always putting on this really great strong front, and I was so honored that she would tell me of her fear and tell me all that was really concerning her. And I like to think that maybe in doing that she was able to then move out of that zone and back into, okay, what needs to be done next? What are we coping with next? And so I look at it and I go, what is impressive is Chloe's ability to fight. And I want to tell you something, Chloe, if I ever get into that situation, I pray God that I don't, because I don't think I have your strength of character. I will remember you and Robin and Sherry and the Ashley and, you know, all the people who seem to cope with, you know, Roseanne, people who cope with things every single day and still manage to have a good attitude. I think about Paul at the moment, right? And I don't know, by the time you hear this, we might have heard the results of his CAT scan. I don't know. But he must be fighting fear. It would be perfectly normal. Fear of the unknown, and then it may be worse for him, fear of the known, if that goes badly. So, fight. And the question is, with what do you fight? You fight with every ounce of your being, as you know. You fight with whatever makes you feel better. If it's a YouTuber, if it's a walk, if it's a, you know, funny program, fight. I think I told you that for some time in my life I used to donate time to the humor clinic that they had in the... Oh, no, I've got to wait for a train. Anyway, they had a humor clinic in the local cancer hospital, and I helped inaugurate. I actually inaugurated it. They invited me to come and inaugurate it, which I did. Now, I want to tell you, that's a difficult thing to do, to be funny with a whole group of people with brain tumors. And yet, it was the greatest honor to watch people struggling, as they were in some cases, to watch them laugh and to really see that they wanted to laugh. Apparently it wasn't a train, it was just one of those cars that rides on the rails.